Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're now delighted to be joined over the telephone by our guest for the morning, Dr. Youmn, our economics professor. Dr. Youmn, a very good morning to you, ma'am.
Good morning and happy Eid for all Egyptians and Muslims.
Likewise to you too, Dr. Youmn, and all your loved ones. And once again, thank you for your time this morning, Doctor. Now let's talk a bit about the repercussions of this war in the Middle East. It's severely damaged more than 40 energy assets across 9 countries so far, and of course deepening risks of a global economic crisis. The head of the International Energy Agency said that the global economy is facing a major threat because of the Iran war. How do you see this recent address?
Yes, indeed. You know quite well that, from the era of the second era of President Trump, the world economy witnessed severe uncertainty. And uncertainty can be regarded as a very important risk for any economy to grow. And by starting with the trade war, this affected seriously the world economy performance. And by, introducing the Iranian war, I believe that the most important impact of that, increasing the prices of oil, which as energy representing approximately from 20 to 30% of cost of production for any production. And from here it comes that, the world economy is expecting seriously inflationary impact due to such increase in the prices of oil.
Doctor,
the problem is about the, the time limit. For how long this war is going to continue, and to how extent this is going to affect, the production effect all around the world, specifically for the countries that are suffering from or that are referring mainly importing oil. This is increasing to large perspective the cost of production for these countries, as well as the availability of energy. Nowadays, Asian countries are, witnessing nowadays a severe challenge regarding having, the enough resources of energy to continue their production. So all these, risks are affecting seriously the performance of the world economy.
Absolutely, Dr. Youmn. Now, to what extent do you see, the current monetary policy frameworks, for example, inflation targeting regimes effectively responding to the supply side shocks of this magnitude without inducing recessions in their own countries?
This is a very important question, and we see that, the Federal Reserve kept the prices of interest rate. This is, is contrary to the expectations that we were expecting a decrease in prices of interest rate.
Yes.
Because with inflationary pressure due to the increase of prices of oil, you cannot, reduce interest rate, and the monetary policy should respond as most of central banks around the world. They are going to respond by not reducing prices of interest, which is actually against investment, because interest rate is the cost of investment. And from here it comes that this is affecting negatively the prospect of economic growth for the world economy, generally speaking. And we can notice this problem for the Egyptian case as well, because for Egypt, we were expecting, and our plan had been dedicated to reduce the interest rate for the coming period, and this was regarded as very important step towards enhancing economic growth in Egypt. But unfortunately, we cannot do that. We are expecting that interest rate in Egypt is going to be as it is, or maybe we can increase, we can have the potential of increasing interest rate, and this is quite risky for the performance of the Egyptian economy.
And again, as you said, it depends on the long how long this war lasts.
Yes.
Right.
Hopefully, we heard yesterday that there is a tendency for negotiation between the two sides, but unfortunately, we cannot count on anything coming from President Trump, as if a day is saying something and the second day is saying the contradiction of such things. So, and for the last war,
still different messages are being disseminated.
We cannot be sure about anything.
Right, Dr. Youmn, let's talk a bit. Let me ask you, in what ways do you see this current crisis, different structurally from the Russian-Ukrainian war in terms of supply elasticity, a geographical concentration, possible, substitution possibilities? How does this war here in this region differ from the situation that also happened between Russia and Ukraine and the drop with the energy supplies?
You know, the only beneficiary from such war is Russia.
Yes.
Since Russia nowadays, allowed to sell their oil with prices, the international prices, and this wasn't the situation before the war. They were selling their oil with 50% discount because of the ban. And from here it comes that this is a very good opportunity for Russia, not only to have more revenue from their oil, but, the war of Ukraine, Russian, is going, to be diluted with such, conflict nowadays with Iran. So the only beneficiary is Russia. And another thing that should be taken into consideration, the whole world should, reverse their situation or start to restructure their positioning in the world economy, taking into consideration all the risk and the changes that happen nowadays, specifically the EU countries. The European economies nowadays are affected seriously by increasing the prices of oil, by the Russian-Ukrainian war, by the situation of NATO and their position in NATO, and nowadays they are affected seriously with increasing the prices of oil. So with their tendency to reshape their economy and to enhance productivity and the EU economies are quite strong economies, but unfortunately they don't have their political identity, independency in their political identity. So I believe that they should revise their position in the whole world nowadays, because it's becoming actually the world economy with violating all international laws, as we can see. Even the role of WTO is completely violated with such trade war. I believe that we should see some kind of, restructuring international economic relations for the coming period.
Absolutely, Dr. Youmn. Now, the International Energy Agency has called on governments to take different measures to reduce oil demand, for example, to push, for example, remote working, to reduce speed limits, encourage a shift, for example, towards public transport, to limit car usage, etc. How do you see these recommendations, and how effective would they be in your opinion?
Actually, this is what any country can do facing such challenges, because, if you have a shortage in supply and increasing in the prices of oil, so all your calculations is going to be changed completely, and your competitiveness is going to be affected seriously.
Yes.
And from here it comes that most countries of the world are are trying to address such a situation with trying to reduce the demand for oil, or trying to introduce renewable energy as they can do, since renewable energies, unfortunately, they didn't replace conventional oil or conventional sources of energy. And this is the dilemma we are living in. It needs more upgrading, new types of technology, Instead of the world economy nowadays is, the world economy should refer to coordination and cooperation in order to diversify sources of energy and trying to address climate change. The world has changed completely towards wars and conflicts and killing people. So, we are in a terrible era, actually, in which one man is directing the whole world.
Absolutely right. Dr. Youmn, let's talk a bit about oil prices. If they continue to climb as we're seeing, and especially that no end to the war is still in sight, and lots of speculation as well, and lots of countries have already started dipping into their oil reserves. What does this mean for these countries, in your opinion, Doctor?
Can you please repeat the question?
Yes.
I couldn't hear it.
Apologies. I was asking you about the countries that have started dipping into their oil reserves as oil prices continue to rise and disruptions in the transportation of oil. What does this mean when they move to taking from their own reserves?
Actually, you can't regard this period as a period of uncertainty for the whole countries of the world. And since, like I mentioned, about the length of the war, it's not, we are not clear about it. And it refers to a lot of, events that we cannot predict, unfortunately. Some of the agents, had predicted that maybe the oil can reach 150 per barrel or more than that. Since there are predictions that the Strait of Hormuz is going to continue to be closed for the coming period, and what we are hearing nowadays about negotiations that there is going to be management of United States is going to be a part of the management with Iran as is part of negotiation. So you can hear some, several things that are completely strange.
Still unclear,
regarding the international rules of law and the sovereignty of countries actually in managing their resources.
Yes.
From here it comes that I believe that all countries should have their, plans towards addressing uncertainty and risks, specifically regarding availability of energy. And this is for developing countries specifically.
Very critical,
witnessing severe problems regarding that.
Yes, right. I have to leave it at that. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Dr. Youmn Hamaki, our Professor of Economics. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your time and your insight, and for joining us this morning on The Breakfast Show. Ladies and gentlemen, do stay tuned. We'll be right back after the hour's top stories.